All right, so we're diving into Atlantis today,
We are.
and you've given me quite an eclectic mix of sources to work with.
That's right.
We have Donnelly's classic Atlantis, the antediluvian world. We've got some excerpts from Manly P. Hall's The Secret Teachings of All Ages.
Yes.
And we also have the Book of Knowledge, The Keys of Enoch by J.J. Hurtak.
A fascinating combination.
Yeah, it is. And I really appreciate how you put this together because rather than rehash, kind of the typical Atlantis debates, we're going to look at some lesser-known facts and theories.
Hey.
And also kind of some recent research angles. So
Indeed.
we're not trying to prove or disprove Atlantis today, but I think our mission is to uncover those unexpected connections between these seemingly different sources.
That's right.
It's like an intellectual treasure hunt.
A treasure hunt for knowledge indeed, and a good place to start our excavation would be with Donnelly's Atlantis, the antediluvian world. It may be over a century old, but it's considered a cornerstone for Atlantis enthusiasts.
Yeah, and he makes some pretty bold claims.
He does.
I mean, Donnelly firmly believed that Atlantis was located right smack dab in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, not the Mediterranean, as some theories suggest.
Right.
And he even cites Plato's description of the Atlantic, including a continent on the other side, as evidence of ancient transatlantic voyages, pre-Columbus.
Yes. Quite a thought-provoking idea.
Yeah.
It really challenges the conventional timeline
It does.
of transoceanic travel.
Yeah.
Donnelly also brings up geological formations like the Dolphin and Challenger ridges,
Okay.
suggesting they could be remnants of a submerged continent.
Interesting.
And he draws on the work of geologist J. Stark Gardner here,
Okay.
adding a layer of scientific intrigue to the mix.
Yeah, and he doesn't stop there.
No, he doesn't.
Donnelly goes on to link the global prevalence of flood myths to the destruction of Atlantis.
Yes.
And he meticulously compares various versions of these myths,
Right.
like the Chaldean and Aztec accounts. And he finds some fascinating parallels with Plato's account of Atlantis sinking beneath the waves.
It's remarkable, the similarities.
It is.
And what I find particularly compelling is Donnelly's observation that the ancient Egyptians, unlike many other cultures, lacked a universal flood myth.
Oh, that's interesting.
He suggests this is because they already possessed the historical account of Atlantis' destruction, having inherited that knowledge, so they only recorded localized floods.
It almost makes you wonder if there's like a hidden thread of truth, woven into these ancient myths and legends passed down through generations.
That's certainly a possibility, and Donnelly also throws in some other intriguing tidbits.
Okay.
He connects the widespread use of bronze during the Bronze Age to Atlantis, claiming that their advanced maritime skills allowed them to distribute bronze artifacts throughout Europe.
Wow.
He even speculates that the name Atlantis itself might come from the Toltec word for water, atl, and the Peruvian word for copper, anti, hinting at Atlantis as a potential source of this metal.
Okay, now we're getting into some really fascinating territory.
Yes.
Donnelly goes on to propose that the Greek gods were based on Atlantean kings and heroes.
Right.
Drawing from Plato's mention of Poseidon and Atlas as rulers of Atlantis.
Bold proposition.
It is.
But it adds another layer to our understanding of
so.
ancient mythology and its potential connections to a lost civilization.
And let's not forget Donnelly's intriguing suggestion that gunpowder might have existed in ancient times.
Right. He links it to the description of the Cyclops in Greek mythology.
Yeah, a one-eyed giant hurling thunderbolts. I mean, could it be a distorted memory of some ancient weapon?
It certainly sparks the imagination.
It does.
And to further solidify his argument, Donnelly highlights the presence of Maltese crosses across various cultures.
Interesting.
Including ancient Peru, Egypt, and Assyria.
Wow.
He sees this as a potential sign of shared Atlantean influence.
So it's like finding breadcrumbs of a lost civilization scattered across the globe.
Precisely now, while Donnelly focused on historical and geological evidence, Manly P. Hall's The Secret Teachings of All Ages offers a different lens through which to view Atlantis, exploring the world of esoteric traditions.
Okay, so we're shifting gears from scientific analysis to the realm of hidden knowledge and secret societies.
Exactly.
What kind of insights does Hall offer?
Well, Hall's work explores the idea that secret societies like the Rosicrucians and Freemasons might hold the keys to understanding the mysteries of the past, including the secrets of Atlantis.
Interesting.
He delves into the concept of hidden streams of knowledge, passed down through generations, potentially offering clues to a lost civilization.
So instead of, digging through geological formations or analyzing ancient texts,
Right.
Hall suggests that the answers might be hidden within these esoteric traditions.
Exactly. He encourages us to look beyond the surface and consider the possibility that there are layers of meaning embedded within history, mythology, and symbolism,
Oh.
accessible only to those with the right keys.
It's like a secret code waiting to be cracked.
Indeed. And speaking of keys, that brings us to our third and perhaps most mind-boggling source.
Okay.
J.J. Hurtak's The Book of Knowledge, The Keys of Enoch.
All right.
Now, this is where things get really interesting.
Right.
While Hurtak doesn't mention Atlantis directly,
Okay.
his book claims to provide scientific and spiritual keys to understanding higher realities,
Right.
some of which resonate surprisingly well with Donnelly's ideas.
Give me an example.
Well, Key 108 describes the Great Pyramid as a geophysical computer,
Okay.
revealing the half-life of our local universe and its connection to the constellation Orion.
Wow.
This ties in with Donnelly's emphasis on ancient civilizations possessing advanced knowledge potentially inherited from a source like Atlantis.
So both Donnelly and Hurtak are hinting at a level of scientific and astronomical knowledge?
Yes.
That goes far beyond what we traditionally attribute to ancient cultures.
Exactly. It's as if they're both pointing towards a lost civilization that possessed knowledge that we're only just beginning to rediscover today.
Okay, this is already blowing my mind.
Hold on tight because it gets even more intriguing.
Okay.
Key 110 suggests that by interconnecting the languages of Egyptian, Hebrew, Sanskrit, Tibetan, and Chinese, we can connect with higher evolution.
Wow.
It's like some ancient linguistic code waiting to be cracked, potentially unlocking a deeper understanding of our origins and our place in the cosmos.
Wow, a linguistic Rosetta Stone for unlocking cosmic secrets.
It is.
This is definitely a deep dive into uncharted territory.
It is, and this concept of a hidden language capable of unlocking deeper truths resonates with Hall's exploration of esoteric symbolism and the idea of a lost word passed down through secret traditions.
So you're saying that even though these sources come from different perspectives,
Yeah,
they seem to be circling around similar concepts.
exactly. They all hint at a lost civilization with advanced knowledge, a connection to the stars, and a hidden legacy that might be waiting to be rediscovered.
Okay.
And it's these common threads that will unravel further as we continue our deep dive.
Well, I am hooked. This is shaping up to be one of our most mind-bending deep dives yet.
I agree.
But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's take a step back and see what we've uncovered so far.
Okay. A wise move. We've laid the groundwork with 3 fascinating sources, each offering a unique perspective on the Atlantis mystery. And I think it's time we delve deeper into those intriguing connections we've identified.
I agree. Let's unpack those shared threads and see where they lead us in part 2.
You know, it's remarkable how these 3 sources, despite their very different approaches, all seem to converge on this idea of a civilization that was not just technologically advanced, but also deeply connected to esoteric knowledge and the cosmos.
It's like they're painting a picture of a society that was light years ahead of its time, mastering things that we're only beginning to grasp today.
Precisely. Donnelly's descriptions of Atlantean maritime capabilities, of their potential mastery of metallurgy, and even his suggestion that they might have possessed gunpowder, it all challenges our preconceived notions about the limits of ancient technology.
Yeah, and then there's Hurtak with this mind-bending talk of Merkabah, these vehicles capable of bending time and traveling between dimensions. It sounds like pure science fiction. But coming from a source that claims to be revealing these ancient spiritual truths, it really makes you wonder.
Indeed, it raises the question, what did our ancestors know that we've lost along the way? Was there a time when humanity possessed a deeper understanding of the universe and its mysteries?
Which brings us back to Manly P. Hall and his exploration of secret societies and esoteric traditions. Could these be the repositories of that lost knowledge, the guardians of secrets that could unlock a deeper understanding of our past and our potential?
Hall certainly believes so. He saw these groups not as shadowy cabals, but as lineages of initiates dedicated to preserving wisdom that was deemed too dangerous or too advanced for the uninitiated.
I'm a little skeptical about secret societies holding all the answers, but I can see how the idea of a hidden lineage of knowledge passed down through generations could be appealing. It's like a real-life Da Vinci Code.
And if we consider the possibility that Atlantis was real, that it did achieve a level of advancement that we can barely fathom, then the question becomes, what happened to that knowledge? Was it lost in the cataclysm, or did some of it survive, passed down through these clandestine channels, preserved in symbols and allegory, waiting for the right time to be rediscovered?
Okay, now that's a tantalizing thought. To think that somewhere out there, hidden in plain sight. There might be clues to a lost civilization's wisdom just waiting to be deciphered.
And perhaps some of those clues are embedded in the very sources that we're discussing today. Maybe Donnelly's meticulous research hall's exploration of esoteric symbolism and Hertak's mind-bending keys are all pieces of a larger puzzle, a puzzle that, when assembled, could reveal the true legacy of Atlantis.
It's almost like we're on an archaeological dig, but instead of excavating ruins, we're excavating ideas, sifting through layers of history and mythology, searching for those fragments of truth that might have survived the passage of time.
A very apt analogy. And as we dig deeper, we encounter some truly thought-provoking concepts. For instance, one of the excerpts you provided mentions a divine gene potentially inherited from a more advanced race.
You're talking about that Atlantean excerpt, right? The one that describes beings from Sirius Taku and Keita interbreeding with early humans, leading to the rise of Atlantean civilization. Could this be what Plato was hinting at when he spoke of the Atlanteans' divine ancestry?
It's a compelling connection, and it resonates with both Donnelly's and Hertak's work. Donnelly linked the Greek gods to Atlantis, implying they might have been based on real individuals, perhaps even descendants of this divine lineage.
And Hertak, with his talk of a higher evolution guiding humanity, suggests that we might be part of a larger cosmic experiment, one that could involve genetic manipulation or interdimensional intervention.
Precisely. It makes you wonder, what is human potential? Are we capable of achieving the kind of advancements attributed to Atlantis, or is it a legacy that's been deliberately kept from us for reasons we can only speculate about?
These are some big questions, and we're starting to see how these seemingly unrelated sources, when examined together, open up a whole new realm of possibilities, blurring the lines between history, mythology, and what some might call science fiction.
It's all about expanding our frame of reference, allowing ourselves to entertain ideas that challenge conventional thinking. After all, what constitutes evidence can change over time. What was once dismissed as myth or fantasy might, with new discoveries and perspectives, become a crucial piece of the puzzle.
It's like that famous Arthur C. Clarke quote, "Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic." Perhaps the feats attributed to Atlantis, the things that seem impossible to us today, were simply the result of a science so advanced that it appeared supernatural to those who witnessed it.
A fascinating thought. And who knows, maybe we're on the verge of rediscovering some of those lost technologies ourselves. Maybe the seeds of Atlantean wisdom are already present in our scientific and spiritual pursuits, waiting for the right conditions to germinate.
It's both exciting and a bit unsettling, isn't it, to think that we might be standing on the shoulders of giants, unaware of the vastness of their achievements, struggling to piece together the fragments of their legacy.
But that's the beauty of exploration, of delving into the unknown. It's about pushing the boundaries of what we think is possible, challenging our assumptions, and embracing the mystery that lies at the heart of human existence.
Well said. And speaking of mysteries, there's one more source we need to discuss, one that offers a unique perspective on the fate of Atlantis and its potential connection to our own time.
Yes. We need to talk about Edgar Cayce, the Sleeping Prophet, and his fascinating insights into the lost civilization of Atlantis.
This is where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
But we'll have to save that for part 3. Stay tuned, you won't want to miss it. All right, so we're back.
We are.
And ready to tackle our final source in this Atlantis deep dive.
Yes.
Edgar Cayce.
The Sleeping Prophet.
The Sleeping Prophet. And this is, I think, a little bit of a departure from the other sources, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Cayce wasn't a historian or an academic in the traditional sense.
Right.
He claimed to access information about past lives, hidden knowledge, and even future events through a trance state.
It sounds a little out there, I'll admit.
It does.
But he gave thousands of these readings throughout his lifetime, and a significant number of them actually focused on Atlantis.
They did.
So what did he have to say about this legendary civilization?
What's intriguing is that Cayce's descriptions of Atlantis in some ways align with Donnelly's. He also believed that the Atlanteans were technologically advanced, even suggesting they possessed a powerful form of energy technology based on what he called crystals.
Crystals like the kind you'd find in a New Age shop.
Well, Cayce described them as potent energy sources,
Okay.
capable of harnessing forces we don't fully understand even today.
Interesting.
He even linked the misuse of this crystal technology to the ultimate downfall of Atlantis.
Ah, so we're back to that classic cautionary tale
Right.
about the dangers of unchecked technological advancement.
Yeah.
It's a theme that resonates pretty strongly in our own time.
Absolutely. Cayce's readings suggest that the Atlanteans, despite their advanced knowledge, became arrogant, using their technology for selfish and destructive purposes.
Yeah.
This ultimately led to a series of cataclysmic events
Right.
that shattered their civilization.
It's a reminder that knowledge, especially powerful knowledge, can be a double-edged sword.
It is.
It can be used for good or for ill.
Mm.
And it's up to us, the wielders of that knowledge, to choose wisely.
A crucial point, and here's where Case's perspective takes a particularly fascinating turn.
Okay.
He claimed that many of the souls who were incarnated in Atlantis are alive today,
What?
carrying with them the memories,
Really?
the karma, and the lessons of that lost civilization.
Wait, so you're saying some of us might be reincarnated Atlanteans?
It's a concept that Case reiterated throughout his readings.
That's a pretty wild thought.
He even suggested that these Atlantean souls are drawn to certain locations, places like Egypt, the American Southwest, and parts of Europe, where remnants of Atlantean culture or technology might still exist.
It makes you wonder if there are people walking among us right now who have this deep-seated, perhaps subconscious connection to this lost civilization. Maybe that's why the story of Atlantis continues to fascinate us, to resonate with something deep within our collective psyche.
It's a compelling thought. Case also emphasized the importance of learning from the mistakes of the past.
Okay.
He believed that humanity is at a crossroads facing challenges similar to those that confronted the Atlanteans.
You mean things like the ethical implications of powerful technology, the potential for environmental destruction, and that constant struggle between materialism and spiritual values?
Precisely. Case saw these as recurring themes throughout history.
Yeah.
And he believed that the story of Atlantis offers a powerful warning for our own time.
So what's the takeaway here? Are we doomed to repeat the mistakes of Atlantis? Or can we learn from their downfall and create a different future for ourselves?
That's the question we all face, isn't it?
It is.
Case believed that humanity has the potential to evolve beyond the limitations of the past. But it requires a conscious effort to reconnect with our spiritual core, to prioritize compassion and wisdom over greed and the pursuit of power.
It's a message that echoes through all three of the sources we've explored today.
Right.
Donnelly's fascination with Atlantis stemmed from a desire to understand the origins of civilization and the potential within humanity. Hall emphasized the importance of seeking hidden knowledge and unlocking a deeper meaning in ancient traditions. And Hertak's keys offer a roadmap to a higher evolution, a path that requires us to transcend our current limitations and embrace a more expansive vision of reality.
It's a powerful reminder that the story of Atlantis is more than just a myth or a historical curiosity. It's a reflection of ourselves, of our potential for both greatness and destruction. It's a call to action, an invitation to explore the depths of our own being, to rediscover the wisdom that lies within, and to create a future worthy of our shared legacy.
Wow, what an incredible journey this has been.
It happened.
We started with three seemingly disparate sources. And through this deep dive, we've uncovered these amazing connections, these threads of ancient wisdom and enduring mysteries.
And as we wrap up this exploration, I'm reminded of that ancient Hermetic axiom, as above, so below. Perhaps the search for Atlantis is ultimately a search for our own lost potential, for that divine spark that resides within each of us.
Maybe, just maybe, by exploring the mysteries of the past, we can unlock the keys to a brighter future. It's been an incredible deep dive into the world of Atlantis.
It has.
Thanks for joining us.
It's been a pleasure. And remember, the search for knowledge is never truly over. There are always more connections to make more mysteries, to unravel what other secrets are waiting to be rediscovered. That's for you, our listener, to explore.